These kids got into lifting early and they are good at it.
Hard work, work.
Good morning, everybody. How you doing? It's oh boy, we're screwing up the intro already. You're listening to the Warm Up Podcast. I'm your goofy host, Lou Michaels, semi-pro stand-up comic, getting closer to pro every month, I hope. Come out and see a live show. It's fun. It's funny. It's fun. It's whatever. Appreciate you guys being here. It is currently 63 degrees, February 20, what day is it? February 27th, 63 degrees in mid-Michigan. Things are great. It's nothing weird there. I'm not complaining, but woo, the simulation is out of control. If you're a first-time listener here, hey, we're driving to the gymnasium to get a workout in today, and it's Tuesday for me, Wednesday for you, but on Tuesdays we do chest day, best day, because with a swollen chest, just life's a little bit easier, Guys or gals, you want to have a brassiere, so I'm told. Is brassiere? That's not it. That's a piece of clothing. Anyways, everybody, most people, hey, we shook out the new people. They've clicked off by now. But for my warmies, what's up? I guess we're going with warmies, which, I said it. You guys seem to be okay with it. I don't really like it because it's close to wormies, like worms. I don't like worms, but warmies, I don't know. Maybe that's like a as seen on TV snuggie kind of competitor. So I could go with warmies, maybe. Anyways, to my warmies, tradition. Let's get the pre-workout in a can. It was put there by a man in a factory downtown. Today, we're going old school, and I've had this so many times in my life, as I'm sure a lot of you have. It's not even marketed as a pre-workout, but we know. It's the OG pre-workout in a can. It's Monster Energy's Ultra Zero, the white flavor, grapefruit, I believe. We're looking at about 170 milligrams of Bang Bang in there. That's a good amount of caffeine. But something that I just looked at today, probably should read the labels a little bit more. It's got niacin, vitamin B12, and B6, which are also great stimulants to just make your heart and skin pound and burn, and we're gonna have a great time. So, all right, everybody, you know the rule. Let's crack it. Oh yeah, good crack. That's big. That's big beverage for you. Coca-Cola knows how to make a fucking can. Good whiff, smells chemically awesome. First sip, but if I'm being honest, we're in the multiple thousand sips of these bad boys. But here we go. First sip for Monster Ultra. Oh yeah, ain't no school like the old school. That's a classic energy in a can. I don't know what it is. A lot of the actual pre-workouts in a can immediately attack my stomach and guts. And somehow Coca-Cola realizes if you want to sell to the masses, you can't give them a stomach ache immediately. It's got to be hours later, so you can blame it on the salad you tried to eat. Going, just leaves fuck my stomach up. Wasn't the energy drink hours ago? But I gotta tell you, season 2, harsher rating system, still gonna give my classic Monster, what is it, Zero Ultra? We all just call it the White Monster. You know what it is. 4 sit-ups out of 5. Probably the highest ranking in season 2 that we'll have for a while. Because, again, I'm a sucker for the classics, everybody. Oh, yeah. We're pre-workouting real good. All right, moving on. I particularly feeling a little burnt out. It's spring break. Spring break 2024. So all the kids are gone. Not all of them. Good amount of them. But the gymnasium I go to has a ton of MSU students. If I'm being honest, it's like predominantly Michigan State students. And I have kind of transformed into a townie. So now when the kids leave, I'm like, holy shit, it's a ghost town in here. And listen, I don't mind the crowded gym. It's good energy. Excuse me. These kids are impressive. They work out really hard. And they're so fucking strong, which is nuts because, some of them are just absolutely fucking like just jacked, and they're like, yeah, I'm 19. I'm like, oh fuck, dude, I did not look like you guys at 19 for whatever reason, but these kids got into lifting early and they are good at it. So I'm not complaining about a crowded gym with good work ethic. Yeah, sometimes there's a little bit of the generational gap. Am I a little bit of a fogey old man being like, oh, there's gym etiquette, you're inside my hula hoop? I'm big on that. The one thing I learned in preschool that stuck with me like forever was personal space. And we put hula hoops around us. And I remember we had to like walk around the classroom and they're like, hey, your hula hoop, that's your personal space. So if anybody on planet Earth enters your hula hoop, whether it's there or not, they're entering your personal space and you got to address that. You know, are you comfortable with them being there or not? And that is something I love it. That age 4 Lou is stuck with me forever, where I'm like, oh, you must protect your hula hoop space. And I love that. I will say this, sometimes at a crowded gymnasium, and it's through nobody's fault because everybody's just trying to work out and better themselves, there is some hula hoop violations going on at gymnasiums a little bit more now than ever. Probably because lifting is very in vogue. So I'm here for it. But, you know, my 2 cents, just be aware of other people's hula hoops. I try to be. I violated a hula hoop or 2 in my day. I always try to say pardon me, which I think makes me sound like 1,000 years old. There's nothing more baby boomer than saying pardon me. And I say it directly. I'll look at them and I'm like, oh fuck, it's up there with excuse me. I don't know what the new colloquial term would be for excuse me or pardon me, other than like my bad and you good. I don't know, but you know, every time I say pardon me and a kid in their 20s looks at me, I'm like, I don't know. Time's a motherfucker. Either die or it'll come for you. So, you know, you got that going for you. All right. So, anyways, it's spring break. The gym's a little bit. It's still, you know, there's still people in there. It's still kind of crowded, which like, I want to hope that any of the kids that like aren't going on spring break, it's because, you know, I don't know, I always get a little bummed where I'm like, don't you have family at least or somebody to go see? I don't know, you know, maybe they're saving up and they're going on spring break next week because they're meeting up with people whose timelines, I don't know, but you know, so I try not to get too bummed, try not to sonder about the kids being left out on the party. But I'm like, if you're a Jim or Rudolph and you can't reindeer game this week, I hope you get the party next week. But you know, good for you for working out during your spring break. Okay, I didn't spend a lot of time on that I did not think I was going to. But you know, that's the podcast, everybody. Warmies know. Lou's crazy, overly, underly caffeinated brain, gonna go wherever. I switch gears. I am particularly exhausted this week because humble brag or good problem to have. I've been doing a lot more shows on the road as a feature act, which is rad. Really getting my road hack legs as a feature around the Midwest, which is awesome. But I was kind of like doing some mental math. I don't know. It's just, you know, taking a quiet moment to reflect on life lately. And it rules because like I'm kind of doing it. But at the same time, you know, I'm sleeping in strangers' beds or couches almost as much as I'm sleeping in my own bed or my gal's bed, like a comfortable bed. I was telling my girlfriend, I'm like, oh man, if it's not your bed or my bed, yeah, it's like an uncomfortable sleep, you know? Which is like, I understand that's part of the job and whatnot. But then I also saw a video about Bo Burnham, who I've gone back and forth on liking and thinking is, I don't know, a little bit too much. And I know coming from me, that's saying something. So I always try to keep my criticisms of more successful comics up my ass and not out my mouth, because I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But, you know, if I'm at that low level of feeling what success is, Bo Burnham has that song or that joke about, you know, if you can live a good life without an audience, do it. And I understand the irony of me saying that to a camera right now to folks, that I want to build up an audience to, or, a bigger audience. It's not lost on me. But, like, getting into stand-up for me, as much as I love it, and I love the art form, and I'm trying to get, like, real good at it, because I think maybe I could, like, that's pure and awesome and excellent. And then there's, like, a lot of stuff around it that kind of sucks ass. Job stuff. It's whatever. It still fucking rules. But it's like I failed at a lot of other paths. I tried a lot of other stuff. Where I'm like, oh, yeah, no. I'm not even saying I could become wealthy doing other stuff. I don't know if I'll ever become wealthy doing this. But it's like, oh, yeah. There is something to be said about living that kind of quiet, awesome. And again, I know this sounds ridiculous. Like I'm not talking about being famous or anything like that. I'm just talking about like that always on feeling kind of sucks. Always on, not here. If anything, we're turning everybody off here. But it's just a weird self-reflecting moment I had after doing a bunch of shows this month where I was like, oh fuck, is this really what I want? Like, one of those things where it's like, be careful what you wish for. Because, okay, let's say I fail at this, whatever, I'll figure something out. That's life, You keep going until you die, which should be an excellent motivator for us all. Which is why you really want to target the top of your chest, the middle part of your chest, and the lower pec. 3 heads of the pec muscle. You want to build those up strong, because this is a fitness podcast. And for your chest, work on push and squeeze movements. And for your life, you also want to just be able to, keep working, and understand that death being that silly inevitability, unless we make robot brains and transfer our consciousness into that, which is terrifying. And the leaps and bounds in technology, who doesn't want to become Amish these days? But, all right, how's that for fishing for sound bites for the clip? But, sorry, gang, kind of threw myself off there by talking about actual fitness on a real-life fitness podcast. But, the be careful what you wish for statement, I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, I think that's in everything in life, You want to become a doctor, lawyer, cop, soldier, artist, stand-up, teacher, anything you want to do. We all have the idyllic win, the top. You fantasize about the best parts of your dreams, because you have to. But like slowly accepting the reality that comes with that and dealing with the negative effects of anything you want, I think is massively important, and really kind of dictates how well you're gonna live. I don't know. Too esoteric. I wanted to talk about prepping, god damn it. And you know what? 13-minute mark, we're still gonna talk about prepping, because you wake up a 64-degree day in Michigan in February. It's gonna scramble your brains a little bit. My little Midwestern brain's got too much thermal insulation around it right now. The heat will cook my little brain. So I don't know, gang. Just kind of reflecting. And the last thing I wanted to get to as we pull up to the back of the gymnasium is any of the long times, the buddies, the OGs that have been watching Lou's many misadventures, including the warm-up podcast. You might recognize this old cap from the old Loaded for Bear days. Hey, everybody, what's going on? Keep your protein intake high and your weapons loaded. You can be all right, because you're surviving the apocalypse with Lou. Now I'm surviving it with you. You remember that? That was silly. Yeah, something I've been doing. I've been loudly a prepper before, quietly a prepper. Some people call it survivalist. I don't really care what it is. And I think overall panicked feeling that is maybe over the country, if not the world right now, turbulent times, whether or not we're being force-fed bullshit or not. I think everybody just kind of feels nervous. And the one thing I will say that gives me like a little bit of like comfort, not a lot, is just be a little prepper. You don't have to be a big prepper. You don't have to build a doomsday bunker. But if you remember the rushes for toilet paper and the panic at the beginning of COVID and that weird feeling you felt, just slowly build up like a 3-day supply of anything you need, like have that linen closet top shelf, have extra toilet paper, batteries, some dry food, a battery powered radio, keep a couple extra gallons of water, 3,500 calories per adult per day, and maybe just mash that for the kids anyways for 3 days, week's worth of dry food, easily cookable food, or just stuff that you can eat out of the can or out of a bag. For 3 days, 72 hours, that's enough to get you through a big old piece of shit moment in life where you just hunker down, you listen to where the nukes are falling, and you go, you know what, we're all going to sleep in the same bedroom tonight to stay warm. Click. Yeah, and I don't know. I did want to talk about, big preps, but if you're warming up, if you're staying physically active, I will say keeping a fit, tight body, keeping a super tight body, good for you. Keeping a healthy, fit body, that's the sweet spot, for prepping. So you got to warm up and get some canned food, and you'll be all right, You're going to be all right. And like former Lou used to say, current Lou, and weird me that hates talking in the third person, keep your protein intake high and your weapons loaded, and you're going to be all right, because you're surviving this apocalypse, and I'm going to survive it with you. What's the apocalypse? The gymnasium, because we're about to rip up that chest again. Wild one today. All right, everybody, the warm-up song of the day, you can find it, if you guys want, on the warm-up podcast playlist, which is on Spotify. I almost said Instagram. That's ridiculous. Just under my name, Louis D. Michael, and where are my playlists? I listen to it every day. It's like, I don't know. Okay, there it is. The warm-up podcast playlist right there. Today's warm-up song is old school, oldie but a goodie. The Trooper by Iron Maiden. Love it. It's a cool kind of war apocalyptic vibed song. I believe it's about the charge of the Light Brigade, the British Light Brigade in the Crimean War. Don't quote me on that, but I believe Iron Maiden, being a couple of rock nerds, you gotta immortalize the charge of the Light Brigade in epic rock music. And then we gotta fucking warm up walking backwards on a treadmill to The Trooper by Iron Maiden. All right, everybody. I think as far as the warm up goes, this is how the podcast goes. Everybody, good energy in a can. All right, everybody. I'm warmed up. Hopefully, you're warmed up for your workout or life. We'll see you next week. Okay, bye. Seriously, 3 days of supplies. You can do it. All right. Okay, bye.